Good evening, and welcome to WEBN General News. I'm DJ Mara.
And I'm Tommy Pozo. Let's get into some local breaking stories. Authorities are searching for an 18-year-old wanted in connection with a fatal shooting at Worcester State over the weekend.
And I was kind of panicked. I've never heard of anything happening here like this, so it's kind of pretty surprising.
Kevin Rodriguez shot and killed a 19-year-old man on campus at around 2:30 a.m. on Saturday. According to Worcester State Police, he is facing charges of unlawful possession of a firearm and armed assault with intent to murder.
The Haley-Driscoll administration announced its partnership with the Department of Homeland Security to host a work authorization clinic for migrants.
Even if you don't see people who are coming into the state and you don't see people leaving the state, you realize that's happening. We need like a strong effort to be able to say to people, you know, you're welcome here because you're our future.
The state will organize appointments and offer transportation from shelters to the clinic, while the Biden-Harris administration will provide on-site support to collect and process work authorizations. The program will begin the week of November 13th.
And some updates regarding the shooting that killed 18 people in a bowling alley in Maine last week. The two-day search for the shooter, Robert Card, an Army reservist, has come to an end.
The Maine State Police tactical team ultimately were the ones that located the body within one of those trailers.
Police found Card deceased due to a self-inflicted gunshot. Lewiston resident April Stevens spoke on the issue, saying, quote, "I'm relieved but not happy." President Biden released a statement saying, quote, "Americans should not have to live like this," calling on Congress to take a stand on gun control.
And the U.S. military has carried out airstrikes in eastern Syria against facilities belonging to Iranian-backed groups in the area.
And we, of course, are taking every measure necessary to protect our forces, to increase our vigilance, and to work with other countries in the region to try to keep this conflict that is currently in Israel and Gaza from spinning out into a regional conflict. But the risk is real, and therefore our vigilance is high, and the steps that we are taking to deter that and prevent that are serious, systematic, and ongoing.
These groups are believed to be responsible for more than a dozen drone and rocket attacks against American troops in Iraq and Syria. These strikes were carried out by two U.S. Air Force F-16 fighter jets, which struck two facilities in Abu Kamal, Syria. U.S. military officials said that the government found links to the ammunition stored at these facilities to the 19 drone strikes carried out against American troops in Iraq and Syria.
And now we have a new House Speaker. For more news and politics, we go to our political correspondent, Sabrina Lamb. Sabrina, what do you have for us?
Thanks, Tommy. After 3 weeks of chaos and 3 failed candidates, the House of Representatives has elected Mike Johnson to replace ousted Speaker Kevin McCarthy. Johnson's a fourth-term Republican representative and has served Louisiana's 4th congressional district since 2017. Before Congress, Johnson was a lawyer, conservative talk radio host, and college professor. Former President Donald Trump and the 2024 Republican frontrunner has vocalized support for Johnson's election. And Donald Trump is set to testify at his New York City fraud trial on November 6th. The former president was accused of overstating his wealth on financial settlement statements to secure loans and deals earlier this month. The trial will see his 3 oldest children brought to the witness stand. Trump has denied any wrongdoing and called the trial a, quote, politically motivated sham. With the 2024 presidential elections coming up, Trump has capitalized on this trial and framed himself as a victim of political persecution. And in local politics, after more than a decade in office, Boston City Councilor Frank Baker is retiring. John Fitzgerald and Joel Richards are the 2 finalists vying to fill Baker's position for the next term. Fitzgerald has worked at City Hall for the past 17 years, and Richards is a pastor and former teacher. His replacement will be determined at the upcoming November 7th elections. That's all I have for politics. Back to you at the desk.
Thanks, Sabrina. And in Boston, 2 ironworkers were injured at the South Station construction site. A crane was lifting prefabricated structures when it accidentally knocked over a scissor lift. The injured workers were taken to an area hospital reporting non-life-threatening injuries. Boston firefighters went to the scene for a rescue, but their assignment was canceled because no one was trapped on the scene.
We're going to take a quick break, but coming up, find out why the Boston College swim team dropped their lawsuit against the school.
And what the results of a United Nations vote for a truce in Gaza means. Stay with us.
Get it, slip it, cuff it, check it. High blood pressure silently affects millions of Americans. Staying on top of your blood pressure is as simple as these 4 easy steps. Self-monitoring is power. Visit manageyourbp.org to learn more.
Welcome back.
Let's get right into some international news.
A wide majority of nations have voted for a humanitarian truce in Gaza. This announcement follows reports of aerial bombardment in the Gaza Strip.
Call it a humanitarian truce. Use that time to make sure we get the hostages out.
A witness to the bombings spoke for the people of Gaza when saying they felt, quote, left in the dark with no connection to the outside world. The U.S., along with 14 other countries, voted against and criticized the effort.
And the Israeli military prepares for a ground assault in Gaza. For more on this, we go to our international correspondent, Bishop Marshall. Bishop?
Thanks, DJ. In Gaza, Israeli tanks entered the territory, clearing debris for a ground invasion, as continued airstrikes targeted communication facilities. In a statement to Reuters, the IDF said it is targeting all Hamas military activity and cannot guarantee the safety of journalists and civilians in the vicinity. Around the world, protesters took to the streets, calling for an immediate ceasefire as the Palestinian death toll passed 8,000. And over the South China Sea, a Chinese fighter jet came within 10 feet of a U.S. B-52 bomber. U.S. military officials said the fighter jet was dangerously close to causing a collision. China's foreign minister blamed the U.S., calling the decision to fly in the area an intentional provocation. And in Acapulco, Mexico, families are still searching for their missing loved ones after Hurricane Otis devastated the Mexican metropolis. As cell phone service returned in parts of the city, residents have utilized online message boards such as WhatsApp to communicate with the government about details of missing citizens. The Category 5 hurricane occurred last Wednesday, leaving a death toll of 39, and that number is expected to rise. That's all I have for international news.
Thanks, Bishop. And in some more local news, the 37 members of the Boston College swim team dropped a lawsuit filed against the school. BC suspended the team from practice after the school received credible threats of hazing. The judge rejected to lift their suspension. The school's own newspaper reported the team would be forcing students to binge drink and consume their own vomit. The school will continue to investigate the issue.
And now, let's check to see how the Boston Celtics played this weekend against the Miami Heat. We go to our sports correspondent, Samantha Bowen. Samantha?
Thanks, DJ. In a recent intense Celtics game against the Miami Heat, Derek White emerged as a standout player, leading the team with 28 points and a crucial chase-down block on Jimmy Butler. With support from teammates such as Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, White's aggressive play helped secure an 119-111 victory for the Celtics in their home opener. Despite Miami's strong three-point shooting, Boston's effective offensive rebounding and team performance contributed to their win, showcasing their potential for the season ahead. And former President George W. Bush will throw the ceremonial first pitch before the World Series opener in Arlington, Texas. This marks his fourth such appearance, but his first before an opener. Bush was once the owner of the Texas Rangers until he sold the team in 1998. Former Ranger star Adrian Beltre will throw the first pitch on Game 2 with Grammy Award winner Her and youth talent performer Pearl Peterson in a wheeled for the national anthem performances. And some of Boston's famous athletes are getting in the Halloween spirit. Boston Bruins goalie Jeremy Swayman and his teammates dressed up as Barbie and Ken for the team's annual visit to the local hospitals. Swayman emphasized the team's commitment to bringing joy and laughter to the children during these difficult times, and embraced their previously seen costumes over the years such as Sesame Street, Toy Story, and Nintendo characters. That's all the news I have for the sports. Back to you.
Thanks, Samantha. The Bruins aren't the only ones dressing up for Halloween. After the break, find out which annual Halloween parade took to the streets of Boston.
And which beloved Friends actor passed away this weekend. We'll be right back.
Life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome. Prediabetes does. 1 in 3 adults has prediabetes, but with early diagnosis, prediabetes can be reversed. And you can change the outcome. Take the 1-minute prediabetes risk test today. Go to doihaveprediabetes.org.
Welcome back.
Unfortunately, DJ, it looks like the warm weather from last week won't be coming back for a while. We go to our weather correspondent, Zoe, for more. What do you have for us, Zoe?
Thanks, Tommy. Tomorrow will be mostly sunny, with a high of 49 and a low of 38. On Wednesday, there is a 70% chance of rain, with a high of 45 and a low of 36. And Thursday will be a little chilly, with a high of 48 and a low of 32. The end of the week will get a little warmer, with Friday as a high of 56 and a low of 36. Saturday will be partly cloudy, with a high of 61 and a low of 44. That's all the news I have for weather. Back to you at the desk.
Thanks, Zoe. And now, some devastating news for Friends fans around the world. The actor, Matthew Perry, famous for his role as Chandler Bing in the hit series, passed away on Saturday.
There's nobody like Chandler, so it's a terrible loss. It's unbelievable that he is not on the earth with us anymore. I can't imagine how the other friends are feeling.
At 54, Perry reportedly died in an apparent drowning incident at his home in Los Angeles. Tributes have poured in from all over the world, including one from Warner Bros. Television Group, saying, quote, "The impact of Perry's comedic genius was felt around the world, and his legacy will live on." For more entertainment news, we go to our correspondent, Sam.
Thanks, DJ. 2000s pop star Britney Spears has released her new autobiography, The Woman in Me. The book gives fans an inside look at her career and personal life in the star's memoir. She shares intimate details about her romance with Justin Timberlake, including how at one point she was even pregnant with his child. The book comes out less than 2 years after Britney's conservatorship ended. Hopefully this book gives Britney the chance to finally share her side of the story. After over half a century since the Beatles broke up, we will hear a final new song from the iconic group. Thanks to new AI technology, producers have been able to finish an unreleased song, along with help from the 2 surviving Beatles, Paul McCartney and Ringo Starr, who helped finish the song last year. The single will come with the song Love Me Do, which was the first Beatles song ever, and the track is titled Now and Then and will be available on November 2nd. Atlanta is known for being a huge hub for movies and TV, even earning themselves the nickname the Hollywood of the South. But the ongoing actors' strike has workers questioning if they should change their careers. Thousands of workers continue to be out of work, forcing union workers and crew to rely on unemployment checks, working side jobs to get by. The writers had reached a deal in September, but the actors' strike still continues on in hopes of a fair deal. That's all I have for entertainment. Back to you at the desk.
Thanks, Sam. With Halloween tomorrow, Boston is embracing some fun festivities for all, hosting a costume competition where some contestants would be happy winning a bone as a prize. Our reporter Caroline Reese was on the scene this weekend. What do you have for us, Caroline?
Halloween is full of tricks, but it's also full of treats. And one of Boston's sweetest treats is happening right here in downtown Crossing.
Wow! A not-so-scary Halloween kickoff for Man's Best Friend, Boston's annual Doggone Halloween costume parade and contest marching right through the city.
This is my dog. Her name's Sammy, and she dressed up as Snoopy from Charlie Brown.
She's a Havapoo. She comes from Amish country, and this is a long way from Amish country.
I named her Sandy because of the movie Grease, so I thought that she needs to get dressed up as the character.
My dog is Banjo. It's actually a boy dressed as a girl right now.
A positively packed day. Over 130 furry friends dressed to impress a panel of judges, many of them veterans to the parade.
We came here last year. We entered as Minions.
We didn't win last year.
We have something to improve. We had to up our game.
There was fast food and Taylor Swift and even Baby Shark. But it was Barbie that seemed to be the hottest theme this year.
It's today's culture, right? Pop culture. I grew up with Barbie too, so I love it.
I think it was just a big social phenomenon this year, you know? Like, we're just trying to be on brand.
There were many dogs that went home winners, including Best Dog and Child Costume going to this Mario Kart family, and Best Costume going to this little race car driver.
Although the event is free, all donations will be going to the Boston Animal League. From Boston, this is Caroline Reese for WEBN.
Thanks, Caroline. We now go from Dogtown Crossing to Salem, where artist Andrew Carr is working on a tribute to history. Carr has restored 2 gravestones from the early 18th century, which belonged to a historically prominent family of Salem known as the Crown and Shields. The city of Salem supported Carr for the project. The mayor of Salem even said, quote, "The fact that they're being restored is significant to us, and we're grateful to Andrew for taking on this project."
Well, that's all the news we have for you today. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm DJ Mara.
And I'm Tommy Pozo. Have a great night and happy Halloween.